Hi Taylor, Hugo Marroquin from Salesforce.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great as well, actually. I got here a little bit earlier than I intended, so I decided to go down the street and I found this taco place that's really amazing. Have you heard about it? It's called Chiloso's.
No, I haven't. Where is it?
It's actually right around the corner, so they have amazing tacos. I would definitely recommend for you to
Awesome.
go.
I'll definitely add that to my list. I love tacos.
Perfect. I love tacos too. Before we get started, here's my business card.
Perfect.
All my information's on there. Feel free to reach me out through any of those devices. Usually, if you have something urgent, though, I do prefer phone calls. So if you need to get a hold of me really quickly, you can just shoot me a call.
Perfect.
Good to hear. So I was actually talking to Jeff a little bit earlier through email. He told me that you were actually on vacation earlier this week. How was that?
It was great. I was in Hawaii.
Hawaii. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How was Hawaii?
It was beautiful. All the beaches are great. Have you ever been?
No, actually, I haven't been, but I've heard the exact same thing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you should definitely make sure you go sometime.
I would definitely be sure to check it out. It's on my list.
Perfect.
Great. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit of what's going to be happening today. Basically, I'm just here because I want to learn a little bit about Five. I want to learn about your current situation, if there are any problems with Five, and if there's any way I could fix that through Salesforce. How does that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Great. Good to hear. So, actually, Jeff also told me that today you would only be available for 8 to 10 minutes. Is that correct?
That is correct. I have a meeting right after this one.
Got it. I will definitely be sure to be respectful of your time. Definitely don't want to take up any of your time. Great. So, as far as the decision-making process go, would you be the one ultimately making the decision, or would we have to hold a second meeting later on to kind of make the decision? How would that work?
I'm just going to tell you before we even get started, I'm not intending on buying anything today. I am not the decision maker. It's actually Jeff, and since he's not here, we're going to have to set up a second meeting.
Got it. Well, thank you for being so straightforward. I look forward to that second meeting.
No problem.
Great. So let me just go ahead and jump right in. So just a little bit about Five. Tell me, how many employees and clients do you guys currently have?
We currently have 32 salespeople and 8 analysts here, and we have over 2,000 employees.
Got it. Wow, that sounds like quite a lot of people.
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
Thank
Seems like
you.
you guys are growing a lot. And approximately at this moment, how many projects would you say your employees are working on?
Each employee is probably working on about 5 to 7 projects each, but it varies depending on each employee.
Wow, 5 to 7 projects. That's quite ridiculous. It sounds like it's a lot of information to keep track of.
Yes, it definitely is.
Wow. And to keep track of this information, do you guys have a CRM system that you guys are currently using?
Currently for our company, we have a web-based system, but along with that, we allow each employee to choose their own CRM system for their personal use.
Got it. So just to clarify, every employee has their own CRM system. They log in their information, and then they go to this web-based system that you guys have, and every employee puts their information in there, and that's what goes to you, right?
Correct. So they re-enter their information into our web-based system.
Got it. Okay. And with this kind of process that you guys have going on, have you guys had any issues that have come up?
The biggest issue that has come up, and that's only been recently, is that there has been some miscommunication between some clients and the employees.
Got it. So just a little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I also heard that you guys were planning on expanding soon to Mexico. Is that correct?
Yeah, we actually just started business in Mexico, so we're working on that expansion, also working on keeping our U.S. business growing. And in addition to that, we are licensed to practice in Canada, but we haven't expanded on that yet, just because we are focusing on Mexico and the U.S. right now.
Got it. I actually grew up in Mexico, so
That's awesome.
I wish you guys all of the luck on that.
Thank you.
That sounds extremely exciting. So going back to your current CRM system that you guys are using, would you say that what would the advantages be that you would say?
So there are advantages, like you mentioned. The biggest advantage that we've noticed is that because we are allowing each employee to choose their own CRM system, there is no learning curve. They're choosing what they're comfortable with, so there is no time wasted learning a new system when they come in.
Mm-hmm. So no learning curve. Yeah, that's definitely a big issue, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say the disadvantages of using this kind of process?
I touched on this before, but there has been some miscommunication lately as we've been expanding more and more, as well as it's very time-consuming because, as I mentioned, with their CRM systems plus our web-based system, they have to input the information into their system and then re-put it into our web-based system so we all have access to it.
Got it. So you've brought up miscommunication a couple times, actually. So out of curiosity, is this miscommunication happening between employees? Is it happening between employees and clients? Or is it happening between employees and managers?
So the main source of miscommunication that we've been facing have been a little mix of everything that you just mentioned.
Got it.
Because we have to put our contact information back into our web-based system, and it is time consuming, like I mentioned. Sometimes the sales associates just get a little lazy or cut corners, and there hasn't been notes made of the clients that have been communicated with before, so the clients end up getting communicated to by like multiple salespeople, so they are kind of upset about that sometimes.
Got it. So it sounds like there's just miscommunication all around.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, so as part of the management team, do you ever struggle with keeping track of all the projects that your employees are currently tackling?
Yes, as I mentioned, each employee is doing about 5 to 7 projects, and as I also mentioned before, they sometimes cut corners because of all the re-putting in information, and so if they do leave out a detail or a few details, then I'm in the dark about where they are at the status of their project.
Got it. So it sounds like sometimes you have to use up some of your time to like help out with these miscommunications, like go out and hunt down different employees and like kind of get some information, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So like you said, you're using up a lot of your time to like fix these miscommunications and things. How would you say that you would use this time differently if you didn't have to fix these problems?
Well, as I mentioned, we are expanding quite quickly, and since we did just open in Mexico, instead of using my time to fix these problems that are occurring, I would probably be looking at our current clients and cultivating new client bases so that we're constantly growing.
Got it. I would love to give you some of that time back, actually. It sounds like you are extremely busy, so it would be great for you to not have to deal with these small issues that you're having here and there. And in your opinion, would you say that all of these like small little problems here and there, would you say that they are impeding Five's growth?
Probably yes, in my opinion they are, just because, as I've mentioned, we are expanding, and so if we are losing clients because of they're unhappy with the miscommunication problems that we're having, they'll leave while we need to be growing our client base and not losing clients at this point.
Got it. Okay. And I just wanted to ask you if there was a system that could provide you with quick communication between employees and real-time information. Would that be of help to you?
Yeah, I definitely think it would be, because it would get rid of the problems that I mentioned before, and it would up our time so we could cultivate these new clients and stuff.
Got it. And going back to the system that I brought up, do you think client retention would increase if you did have the system and those small little miscommunications kind of flew out the window?
I definitely think client retention would increase, just because they aren't being upset that like we've been reaching out to them more than once. We're not wasting their time by calling them on the phone more than once and having the same conversations over and over. So I definitely think it would be important, and client retention would increase.
Got it. And do you think your expansion to Mexico would benefit from just like fixing these small problems?
I definitely do think so, because then we could focus on, instead of fixing the problems that have been occurring because of the miscommunication, we could focus on finding new clients and increasing the business and getting our name more out there in a positive light.
Got it. Okay, Taylor, well, I actually think I have all the information I need. I'm actually going to take all this information back to my team, and I'm going to talk them over, and I'm going to try to create a product that's just right for Five and specifically tailored to your company. It definitely sounds like they're just small problems that we could easily fix. So I know you mentioned bringing up another appointment. So as far as setting up a second appointment, like how would that work?
Are you free anytime next week?
Yeah. How about, would you be free around this time again next week?
Yeah, exactly. This time works perfectly.
Got it. Okay, no, that sounds great. I definitely thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you coming out and spending these 10 minutes with me.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Taylor.
It was so nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.